everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man on it, so fine. Kirk Cousins. Woo!
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday. I hope your weekend went well. I hope your fantasy teams are still intact. I know mine are not.
Tell me about it. Where?
You know what day it is. It's Tuesday. That means it's the round table. And I am not alone, ladies and gentlemen. I am not alone. I'm here with my guy, Mr. Nick. I want the smoke, Rosario.
What up, people? It's Tuesday, and I got plenty to say. Let's roll.
Let's get it. And the host of Diversity with Delilah,
Hey.
Crespo.
Woo, what's up?
Yeah, buddy. How we doing today?
I'm doing very well.
It was actually a beautiful day in Chicago today. We hit the 70s in the fog. Yeah,
70s, bro.
Ooh, 72. Oh, I like
it's
that.
sunny.
I got to
Yeah,
get
it was
out
nice.
this afternoon. It was nice, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, okay. I like that. And
Good,
I definitely know that it was all made all the more sweeter by your WNBA team taking the title. Congratulations to Chicago Sky. How you guys feeling about that?
It pumped up the city because, we're a city. We haven't had a championship in a while from any of our teams. So, the ladies pumped us up, our Bulls haven't gotten anything since the 90s. We got excited when Rose and Cole were there, but they didn't take it all the way. And, the Hawks, kind of trickle down.
So
we're
holding on, baby. We're holding on.
So they brought live, back to the city. Everybody was excited. People went to the parade, the rallies. So
we're back to Title Town, baby. We're Title Town. I'll take it away from us.
So they pumped the city up. So that's always good.
The city has won a title.
Yeah. So.
I mean, just saying. I know there are other towns that have probably won more in the same sport. But every one of our major league teams has won a title. I'm just saying.
Yep.
So
that's
true. Very true. Shout out to Nathan Snell tuning in, watching us. What's going on, Nathan?
Big Nate's on watching. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, you are happy today. Unfortunately, we are not going to talk about that blowout on this day, but we will talk about a couple of games real quick. Definitely wanted to do quick birthdays. Wanted to mention it. I know you guys. You guys know about it. Mom's birthday was Saturday. We went out, hung out with her on Sunday.
Birthday, Mom.
Yeah, so that was definitely real cool. It was a good time.
Son, but it's okay. Happy birthday.
Couldn't get the W. Could not get the win, but it was all gravy. But I love you, Mom. I love it. Absolutely. Right. But hey, let's get on into it, ladies and gentlemen. There was a lot of games this weekend, a lot of things we could talk about. What we've been doing recently is picking our games of the week, games that we really dove into, watched, and really we got something to say about these games of the week. And we're gonna start with Delilah, who's covering the game that happened not even 24 hours ago.
24 hours
Titans beat the Bills 34-31, and it was controversial at the end. But go ahead, Delilah.
Yeah, so basically the game was exciting because Josh Allen did his thing, honestly. What he He did what he needed to do. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He hit 3 different guys, which was fantastic. And they weren't even his really go-tos. Cole Beasley got one, like
yeah.
So it's like Emmanuel Sanders had good yardage, but he didn't get a touchdown this game, right?
He got holes on a bad penalty call.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Or not a bad penalty call. They got a penalty. He had a touchdown and they had to call back.
But still, Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns, 3 different receivers, right? Yep, and so he even got a 2-point conversion on his own.
Right. Spread it around.
Seriously, that was a good play. He went in there and caught the 2-point conversion. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, beat me, Nate.
So basically, and that I was getting to that. So basically, Josh Allen did what he needed to do. But Derrick Henry said, not today, right? Mm-mm. Because he wanted to repeat what he did last year, and he did. He beat them again. He's like, nope. He did another hat trick. He ate up those yards, and he got the win on his own. Basically, that's literally
the truth.
Because Tannehill did not play well. Did you see his numbers? He did not do good. And all his receivers, not one of his receivers got a touchdown. Not one. All the touchdowns in that game came from Derrick Henry.
Over 20 carries.
That is insane to me. So I don't know I don't know. I know there's some people who still believe in Tannehill, but do you? Is he the answer for Tennessee? I don't think so.
I want you to finish first before I say anything, because I do have a comment on this game, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think that, if you have the receivers that you have, right? Because they do have pretty good receivers out there. We know that, right? You have Derrick Henry, right? Who literally, they're calling him the king, right? He is the king. They've crowned him. Okay. He is getting towards that legendary running back status that, which I'll be talking about another legend later, right? And the version, he is heading in that trajectory. And you're not dominating like you should. I don't know. But I think that what I found exciting was the fact that Josh Allen did his thing. He really did. He played well, right? We know that he had 1 interception, but he had 3 touchdowns, right? So he played strong, how he's been doing this whole season. But it wasn't enough. No. And I don't know. I think Tennessee needs to figure out, I do think they need a new quarterback personally.
Get over the hump.
I know I'm not the only person that thinks that, and that's coming even from Tennessee fans I speak with. They're they know Ryan isn't the answer.
Yeah. Nick, what are you thinking?
Well, again, I don't dispute any of that. Obviously, Henry had a great game. You know what I mean? But this game came down to the end, and some very questionable play calling at the end, I think. Because again, I know everybody's going to jump on if you're a Tennessee fan, you're like, no, we got the win, and that's great. Fine, you deserve to win. But at the end of the game, Buffalo gave you the game, I believe. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of an old school guy. You're on the road, you go for the tie, you play for overtime. When you're at home, you go for the win, right? Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Maybe I got it mixed up, but I always thought growing up that's what it was. When you're at home, you got the crowd behind you, you go for the win. When you're maybe I'm wrong. Maybe on the road, you go for the thing because you're not at home. I don't know. Point is, I didn't see, given how and I understand people are like, well, they couldn't stop Derrick Henry. Okay, that may be true. And Derrick Henry had a phenomenal game. But you're in a situation where this is the difference between 5-1 and 4-2. And I understand, you want to trust your players. You're an aggressive guy. And analytics, here we go. Analytics is telling you that you should go for it on 4th and 1 at the goal, 2 yards out of because you only need 1 yard for a first down, right? But look what happened. If you saw, he slipped a little bit. And the minute he slipped and that rusher came right through there, knocked him dead, couldn't go anywhere. And what happens? You lose the game on the 3-yard line. Now, again, you took your bump, you lost, you're 4-2. Hey, great, good win for Tennessee. looks great on the resume, right? You beat the Bills.
That's pretty much all that is.
But it
was fun to watch. I don't know. It was fun to watch.
No, you're absolutely right. It was a great game. I'm not denying that at all. But I'm just, these are games though that can come back to haunt you later in the year. Because let's say Buffalo finishes in a tie with someone, and you're looking at conference, conference record. Well, you lost to someone in your count. You lost to the Titans, my friend. That can knock you out right there from a 1 seed to a 2 seed. You're playing the first week.
Yeah, I just remember the last time Buffalo won, they went on a run from that. They literally,
and we'll see if they do this.
So are they gonna do the same thing? And unfortunately, the first person to feel that hurt is our friends here's team was the first one that had to feel that. But like I just don't. What I do find exciting is that the race is really going to be now really between Baltimore and Buffalo, right? Nate, you should be excited. Your team is the 5-1 in there.
Well, see, again, that's what I'm saying.
That's what it's going to come down to. I wouldn't be
4-2, one game in Baltimore in the whole conference.
Let's see what happens, right?
Bingo, my friend.
Can they go on a run?
A lot of it is.
Can they go on a run again? Right.
A lot of it is who you play, and a lot of it's when you play them. We can't overlook the fact that we talk about Tennessee being 4-2. They played Arizona first. You know what I mean? And they got manhandled by that. And look, I kind of do agree with you about Tannehill because in that game he was exposed. Derrick Henry's going to do what Derrick Henry's going to do.
Exactly.
But when you have AJ Green, and I know they lost their tight end Johnny Smith, but when you have AJ Green and you have not AJ Green, Julio Jones and AJ Brown, AJ
Brown.
When you have those guys,
that's what I'm saying.
You should be putting up more numbers than 206 and no touchdowns or no. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you should be doing better.
That's
but
exactly what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, they got the W. And again, like Nick, like you were saying, you do need to kick. You do need to kick it because you just can't trust it. But
let's see,
on the other side, it's like that Buffalo offense has been rolling, so it's kind of like kick it, but they got ballsy at the end. All right, let's go ahead and move along to the next game of the week. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my pick. This is going to be a shocker, I guarantee you. But I have to shout these guys out. I have to shout these guys out because finally, ladies and gentlemen, they got a W. They had to go across the pond to get it. The Jacksonville Jaguars got the W. I mean, hey, look, this was it. They had to go across the water to get it, yes, but they got it. My man, Trevor Lawrence, 25 of 41, 319 yards and touchdown. And the thing is, I understand. A lot of you might have missed this game because it was so early, but if you did, you missed a shootout. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa and Trevor Lawrence, this seemed like it was Alabama versus Clemson again. You know what I mean? Both these guys getting over 300 yards. You had Waddle getting 10 catches for Miami. Yeah. I don't think this is going to make that big of a difference. I still think Jacksonville is going to be a top 5 draft pick team. But I think the bigger story in this is that Miami, like Nick, you alluded to a week ago, Miami is imploding. Miami is even with Tua back, they're falling apart completely. And I don't know. I mean, they have Devontae Parker. They have Waddle doing it. Tua came back. We all said, without Tua, maybe that's the issue. Remember, this defense was a top-tier defense.
Yes,
Wasn't Xavier Howard holding out in the offseason because he wanted more money and he wanted to be traded? You're not playing like it, man. You know, man, they're not getting interceptions. The defense is not making it happen. So I gotta give credit where credit's due. You know, we know all the crazy stuff in Jacksonville going on with Urban Meyer and ladies and all that. It's good to see Trevor Lawrence get a W. Finally, he's on the land of the winning.
Right. There you go.
You know, he got a win. You know, shout out to him. And shout out ex-Detroit Lions. Marvin Jones Jr., 7 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. So I'm glad he was able to get a win before his former team was. That definitely is an issue. What up, David? Joining the show. joining the show. Yeah. So honestly, this game for me, I thought it was a huge game just because of the fact that one team is obviously on the way down and one team has been in the basement, but they're saying, look, we're not giving up. These guys are still playing. James Robinson for Jacksonville has been a constant rusher all year. 73 yards and a touchdown in this game and 460 yards, which is sixth in the league in rushing, and he's tied for second with 5 total touchdowns or 5 rushing touchdowns. So look, these guys are still playing ball. Trevor Lawrence is still this great quarterback. He's just in a horrible situation. Hopefully this will give them a little bit more momentum, but again, I'm going to be realistic. I still think they're a top 5 pick. I still think they are. Miami might be running up on that list as well because I don't know what is going on with them. Yeah, that's what I got.
Where's Bobby for him to chime in? He's not here today. I missed him in the comments.
Let's go.
Where is he?
Bobby, come on, man.
Come in here and defend his boys.
Feel for you. Definitely. But hey, so shout out to Jacksonville. Big game. I know it didn't really matter to anybody, but to those guys on that Jacksonville team, it mattered to them. So I'm glad they got the W. And hopefully, Trevor Lawrence, man, even though he is struggling and he's not getting W's, he's still putting up numbers. You know what I mean?
He was always in a battle. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, that's what we're going to go. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on. My guy, and ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't see the smoke before, the smoke has entered the building. When he told me he wanted to cover this game, I said, "Are you sure, Nick? Are you sure?" And I made the necessary time in the show for it. I don't know if Wendy is here, but you might be just hanging back in the weeds trying to see what he has to say, because Nick is going to cover the Packers beating the Bears 24-14. Nick, the floor is yours, buddy.
Well, as you know, for those of you who pay attention, I guaranteed victory last week, right? Chicago Bears would beat the Packers this week. I was confident. I was happy. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was doing all that. Okay? Now, mind you, I took this game for a lot of different reasons, because not only did this, to me, this game told a lot about what our problems are and just how glaring those particular problems are. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm going to give you numbers to back that up so you understand why I picked this and why I'm specifically pointing this stuff out. Did you know that the Bears lead the NFL in sacks with 20? Were you aware of that? Robert Quinn has 5.5. Khalil Mack has 6. These are two guys who have been much maligned the last few years about not playing up to their potential and all this stuff. These guys are on fire this year. Khalil Mack has had a sack in every game this year. Okay, our defense is a top defense. Okay, so that's one point to make. We have a top defense, which has been shown in the amount of points that other teams have scored. Now, you'll say, well, Nick, if this is true and you have a top defense, why are you 3-3? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, children, because I'm going to tell you why we're 3-3. Because our offense is not a top offense. Now, I understand that we have a rookie playing, and we're all excited about said rookie, Mr. Fields. Everybody gets happy when they find out he started, week 2 after Dalton got hurt. Everybody was excited, myself included. We know what happened in Cleveland. I erased that game from my memory. I started after that week and going, okay, Justin Fields will get a chance. Start with the Lions, blah, 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 right? Okay. We still are the 30th ranked offense in the NFL. So what are we struggling with? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the fact that Justin Fields has been sacked the second most times in the NFL. Yes, David, I'm getting to that. Thank you for the hashtag. But this is what I'm getting to.
Right.
Coaching. Not, Justin Fields was also clocked as the fastest quarterback in the NFL this past week in week 6. So every time he got out of the pocket and took off, guess what? The kid exploded. But we knew that already. We know what Justin Fields' strengths are, and we know what this kid can do. We have seen it. Now, also, the Bears are 0-3 when scoring less than 20 points this season. Well, that would stand to figure, right? Because most NFL teams can score 20 points. Not the Chicago Bears. On 3 occasions, we have not. And we are 3-3 because of it. But as I mentioned, here's where I get to the coaching. If you watch the game on Sunday, for those of you who have, there was plenty of things where you go, time management was not good. You call a timeout, and I think there was one time where they called a timeout and they got a delay a game penalty. Then there was another time he called a timeout, then challenged a play. What was the point of that? Like, there was many things, if you watch this game, little things where those were coaching mistakes. And mind you, he's freed up now. He's not calling plays. That's Bill Lazor. So that means his focus is on the game and all the in-between stuff and all the things that need to be taken care of. Clock management, timeouts, all that stuff. That's the head coach. Yeah, he's got his little staff to help him with stuff, but that's his job, right? He's not calling plays. So he has his focus should be on what's going on the field and all that stuff. And he's still falling short. And it gets frustrating after a while because the Bears were in this game till the fourth quarter. Again, 17-14, you're in the game. And it's little things that happen. And I mean, and again, I know the offense stalled. I mean, we were in Green Bay's territory, I think 4 times and didn't come up with a single point. We basically had 2 good drives, and that's where we got our 2 touchdowns from. And this is the thing that's so frustrating, though, is that this is a problem we've had for the last few years, and just now are we trying to fix it, which, again, I'm glad they are. Okay, but until this is what we're going to be. We're a 500 team at best. Okay, let's just be honest about that. And that's not going to get you anywhere in the NFL.
Nope. 500
is 500, no matter how you slice it, dice it, whatever. And this year, because we have 17 games, we won't be 500. So maybe we'll be 8-9 or 9-8, whatever. That probably makes no difference. 9-8 is not going to get you that far either this year. The NFC is actually pretty stacked.
Yep.
So there's no way that 9-8 is going to get you into the playoffs, which I don't think.
It's fine.
Again,
right.
It's a shame. Well, it's a shame because why? We have a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
So you're wasting a top 5 defense. And
I agree, David.
It really is a shame. It really is because these guys are not getting any younger.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just one of those things where it frustrates the hell out of you because this is what you see. And then it just, as a Bears fan, we've sat through other frustrations. I get it. Like our team has not been great in a while, and that's, that happens, I guess. But it just, when you see what we see, you talk to, again, you listen to local radio, you listen to other fans who call into these sports shows, they all see it. They all understand what's going on here. But for whatever, again, I know you don't fire a coach midseason. That's just something Chicago doesn't do.
I wish you did.
I absolutely wish they did. Because for me, this isn't going to get any better under Matt Nagy.
No, absolutely not.
And this is what's going to happen. We're going to be 500 all year because we're going to beat the teams that we should beat. And we'll lose to teams like Tampa and Green Bay.
Exactly.
And that sort of thing. And we never get anywhere. We stay the same 500, 9-8, 8-9, whatever. And that's just, to me, that's just unacceptable at this point. It really is.
I agree with you, Nick. And I'm glad you covered this because I was going to say exactly the same stuff you were saying. Because Khalil Herbert, who they call Juice, that kid got 97 yards. His first start. First start. Yeah. 97 yards, and he got a touchdown.
Right.
So that kid, they drafted him for a reason. So I don't know who talked to Pace, but I thank God whoever that was knocked him on. So you got to get this kid, right? You got to get Fields, right? Well, I don't know who talked to him. Obviously, they were like, we're going to fire you if you don't figure this shit out.
Well, I figured it out.
Right? Yeah. So, that kid's a stud, and we know it because he came in after Montgomery. We know is going to be gone for a few weeks. Williams got put on COVID because it was Williams who was supposed to take that spot. And he went and started, and he was hungry, and you saw it, right? You saw it. So we know that we have the pieces. We know Mooney's there. He's doing a really great job, right? I don't know what happened to Robinson this season. He kind of disappeared for the money that he's expecting.
Yeah.
But you
got to give him the ball.
Right.
He's been open a few times where they missed him. So
that's what I'm saying. So I hope that, for us, because I agree with David. David's right. See, Chicago's a football town. I know people, nag at us and stuff, but we know football. We know sports. We are a sports town. So when we know when our team isn't going to go anywhere, and we'll admit it. We want them to win, and we'll say, "Oh, look at all this great stuff." But when our team is good and they might go to the playoff, but we know they're not going to beat other teams, we don't delude ourselves into saying we're going to beat other teams in the NFC. We've always said that.
Right.
So,
very
that's
honest.
like saying Michael Jackson was the biggest selling artist of all time. Take it easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
hey, let her enjoy her win.
No, she got her victory.
Enjoy the W.
Aaron Rodgers, got his little thing in by playing to the crowd and telling him he owns us. I get it. Right. It's fine. He wants
be a rematch.
Again, right. Well, again, you expect that from Aaron Rodgers, right? He's look at me.
Look at me.
I own you guys. Yeah, too bad you don't own an NFC Championship winning record, cabron. I don't want to hear you anymore.
Right.
Sorry, Aaron Rodgers.
This is why I'm like, I hope this is the year, and I know you're going to be mad, Sean, because the other big rivalry is Cowboys and Packers, right? We know this. So
I'll be a Cowboy fan for that week. Janae, get me a Dallas jersey. I'll wear it. Come on, Janae.
There you go. There you go.
But anyway, I actually agree, Nick, and I was going to speak just as eloquently as you, so I'm glad you covered this. Because, see, we didn't go crazy. We actually...
No, I was just trying to present my point. But the facts. Exactly.
Right.
Present what I've seen, what I know, and what's going on. Like, I just,
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, and I'm no expert. I'm just telling you what I see as a fan.
Exactly.
And what I observe every week, what I watch every week, and that's it. That's pretty much, that's all she wrote. And again, congratulations, Wendy. Yes, your Packers won again. You're 5-1. And there you go.
Yeah. So
we
shall see. We shall see. So that was Nick's pick for game of the week. And ladies and gentlemen, as you've seen who we picked for the game of the week, we also have certain picks for our player of the week, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off because of all three of our players. I think mine is the least likely to get it, but he's been shining. He's definitely been helping Delilah's one of her fantasy football teams, right. Mr. Naji Harris. The Alabama product who is literally carrying the Pittsburgh Steelers offense on his back.
Yes,
ladies and gentlemen, this man had 24 carries for 81 rushing yards. And I know you're like, oh, well, wait a minute. He didn't even have over 100 rushing yards. Well, it's okay because he got 6 receptions for 46 receiving yards and a touchdown. This man is multi-talented. He's multifaceted. He can run. He can catch. He can block. I don't know if you've seen this man on blitz pickup. This man took. There was a clip where somebody came in and he about near took him in half. You know what I mean? Like he is doing great things. I think that is such a huge pickup. We all kind of questioned it when they got it because we're like, was he going to go before that? Did they really need him? Him, ETN, what are they going to do? I know that Big Ben, among everybody else, is very happy.
Extremely happy that they have
because especially with Juju going out and especially with, Ebron really not doing anything, you have the rookies like Naji Harris and Pat Freiermuth who are definitely showing up and they're getting a lot more attention than maybe they normally would.
Sure. Yeah.
Najee Harris is, look, monster. We've seen him and what he's done in college. And in the pros, he's 8th in rushing with 388 yards and just 2 rushing touchdowns. But I'm telling you, this man is just, he makes such a difference. And with him being in the backfield, it makes defenses not just tee off on what we all know is a aging Big Ben. Big Ben that's on his last legs. So when you have somebody like Najee Harris in the backfield, this man is showing up and showing out. And as long as they have him, I still don't think they're going to the playoffs. but they might.
Hey, the kid last night said it. The kid last night said it.
Right. Shout out to my guy Dylan Walsh. Yep.
I know Sydney didn't agree, but I agree with the kid. I'm sorry, Sid. I'm sorry. Because I know that's your team. I get it. I know what it means to ride or die with a team.
That's
I
right.
understand.
You know all about it.
Yeah.
But let's just, in the back of your head, I know. I know you know the truth.
Admit it.
Big Ben is always happy. We're Wow. Here we go.
That's a
and wait a minute. Wendy is still chiming in. When he did the discount double jack. Oh Lord. All right, Wendy. Gotta move on. And we're gonna move on now to Nick. And Nick, your player was not on offense, Nick. Who did you pick?
I went defense this week because I don't think defense sometimes gets enough play, right? But in these sort of things, right? For like player of the week, like, oh, it's offense. Right. But I'm going to go with one Max Crosby of the Las Vegas Raiders. Not only is Max a great story overall for, overcoming his alcohol and drug habit to, rehab, to coming in this year clean, and sober and really get himself together. He's having a monster of a year. This game alone, he 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass defended, and 12 pressures.
Wow.
And talk about dominating the one guy. There's other guys obviously on the line and blah, 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 blah. And, the much maligned Vegas Raiders defense, at times they play great. At times they're sloppy. They've kind of come in this year and it's been the same thing. But Max has definitely been a stabilizing factor on that defense. And I just thought it was time to kind of give him a little recognition here because all year he's been like this. He really has. Like, they've had a couple of primetime games, and I swear you hear Max Crosby's name like 6-7 times
all the time.
a game.
Yep.
Because and just the guy is just phenomenal. He's playing his heart out there. He really is. Like, again, you got to respect the guy who can pick himself up off the ground, get himself into rehab, get himself cleaned up. And he's just come out this year and played spectacularly. So, I mean, I don't think there's too much else I could really say about Max Crosby. But I'm telling you, watch. And again, my honorable mention, you talk about to J.J. Watt for that Pittsburgh game.
For sure.
That's like an honorable mention because, I mean, you guys all saw how
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt, sorry. You guys all saw how that game ended.
Yeah.
Right.
I think TJ Watt should get like 80 game balls for that one. Saved your team, from losing.
Yeah.
Single-handedly, my friend. 2 plays, and that was it. And so, honorable mention, defense this week. We go, Max Crosby, but literally right underneath, man, TJ Watt with that phenomenal play. Save the win for the Steelers. Can't beat it, my friend. That's good stuff.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. So, hey, moving on, Delilah, you went with royalty this week. Who did you get, Delilah?
You went with royalty.
I went with King Henry. Okay.
Okay.
I honestly I feel like obviously we keep hearing about all the passers. We keep talking about Tom Brady. We keep talking about but we're not giving this guy because unfortunately he'll never get, and it's too bad because he really should get MVP because. And I know it's hard for a rusher to get that title. Sometimes they'll do a Cole title. Maybe they'll do a Cole this time around. Who knows? Because I know they do that sometimes too. But in total, that man has 783 yards this season alone. And that's we're not even
not quite halfway there yet, are we?
Exactly. We're not even halfway through this. It's crazy.
Really,
back to back 2,000 yard seasons. What?
Man,
it's looking that way, ain't it?
He's projected to end this season with over 2,000 yards again. He is projected.
He's at 7-something right now.
Yeah, he is 783. He has 783. And as I also have Nick Chubb on my team, but unfortunately he's hurt. Right? He's the number 2 receiver, rusher. Now to give the perspective, Nick Chubb has 523 yards, which is still a monster number.
Right, but he's got 200.
For a difference of 260 yards.
Right.
Okay,
isn't that amazing?
How many more total yards Derrick Henry has right now compared to number 2 Nick Chubb? 260 yards. That is the difference.
That's 2 games for most people.
Yeah,
right.
So he's in first place for rushing yards. He's in first place for touchdowns for a rusher because he already has 10. And he's in first. Yeah, he has 10 already this season. Again, we're not even halfway through the season yet.
He's the offense in Tennessee,
okay?
right?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, right.
So, right, and then for attempts, he's also in first place with 162, right? Rushing attempts.
Feed him the ball. Feed the beast.
So,
that's what you do.
So and we saw that, right? We saw where some obviously some defenses learned how to stop him, but he would still get around them, right? He was still strong arm because he's a beast. He's massive.
He's a beast.
So this last game, right? We know he carried the Titans to victory, right? He had 143 yards and he scored the 3 touchdowns of that game. Right? Mm-hmm. Henry exploded up the middle. We saw him for 76 yards for the first touchdown of that game. Right? And then again, basically when he saw that they were losing, he's like, I honestly think in the back of his head, he was like, forget it. And that's what he was like.
I got this.
And then he powered in with a pair of red zone rushing scores in the second half, right? And that was the, and we know, I agree, probably Buffalo could have done a little better, but still, that was it, right? He's like, 2 touchdowns. That's, it's like he really carried, that game. And Henry found the end zone 3 times for the second straight game, by the way. So it's not like, he had 3 touchdowns the last game. And that's what I'm saying. Like this guy is a beast, and he really deserves he really deserves better than like something. All right. And that's why I was saying, I'm like, either because we know that rushing backs have a limited, right? They have an expiration. They unfortunately, because of their position, right? And we know that the more that they play, the less likely, that's why we have the Barry Sanders of the world, right? Because they're like, we can't do it anymore. So, hopefully he gets a chance to get that. He really needs to get a Super Bowl win. This would be a guy who would be really sad that he's killing off this, right. And he retires another running back like that without, But anyway, so kudos to you, Key Henry. Keep eating. I know you're gonna keep eating, and I do believe he's gonna have another 2,000 yards for sure. Especially if he keeps playing like this.
He stays healthy.
That's true, right? That's the key, isn't it? Isn't that the key? That's the key. Because this is also football, so you're like,
just ask Dad; he'll tell you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But anyway, kudos to the king. Kudos to the king.
Hey, okay, I like that. I definitely like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are our picks for player of the week. Maybe you had somebody different. Maybe you believe player of the week should just be a quarterback. Well, we say boo to you. Running backs and a defensive player and a defensive end. Let's go. This is how we feel. So we are going to move on to another segment that we brought out a week ago. And this one is called Hot Topics. We just take a look at something that might be a little controversial, maybe something that might be just top news in the NFL or something that just maybe happened this weekend and we want to touch on. And I'm going to lead the way on this one. We'll go back to a week ago. We all heard all the nonsense that happened with John Gruden and the emails and the homophobic and the racist. And misogynistic, all slanders and slurs and all that stuff. So, and he's out. He resigned. But the other part of that is that those emails were to my owner in Washington, and nothing seems to have happened with that. Well, something actually did happen. They tried not going to say that word. They tried a poor job, poorly masked ceremony to honor a great and if you ask any Washington fan, an absolute great, one of our top 5, Sean Taylor, they decided to make a tribute to him and retire his number and all that this weekend in Washington. And I got to tell you, I think this is bull.
Right.
Like, what are y'all doing? Like, your stuff is so wide open and out in the open, and you're still doing, like, trying to save face by doing this. Are you serious? I mean, first and foremost, it's super long overdue in the first place. Mm-hmm. This man is revered by every Washington
across
fan.
the league, not just Washington.
Across the league, right?
He's respected in general.
Everybody loves that 2-1, man, and so he should have been appreciated and revered a lot sooner than this. But for you to do it right now, this is awful taste. This is tacky. Like, what are y'all doing, Washington? Like that. This is the type of thing that makes me want to kind of sit back and be like, man, I don't know if I want to be associated with this organization because it's
not the team, right?
It's not right. No, exactly. I get it. I will ride or die with my team. Y'all already know, but this type of stuff is just, it's disgusting to me. Why would you do that? I actually heard in my research,
wasn't his brother there the week before when it would have made sense to do the actual ceremony?
Well, right. And then this week they didn't even tell his parents. Like, his parents had to find out like some other way, and it's like, are y'all really serious right now? Like, I can't do it. And then on top of that, we played the Chiefs. Obviously, we lost, and it wasn't a blowout. There was times where it looked like we could potentially.
You were looking good there for about 2.5 quarters, my friend. Yeah,
you know, we did a little something, but the worst part is Patrick Mahomes' brother is going to sit here and we had. So if you don't know, on the field there was this little marked off area that was actually chained off.
Right.
It had a 21 in the turf.
With the logo in the turf.
The logo, right. And that's, you know, we were honoring him. It was chained off the whole 9. And then all of a sudden you see this video surface where Patrick Mahomes' brother doing some little
dance,
TikTok dance, some crap, some juju nonsense. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I mean, do y'all just not care? I mean, what kind of disrespect? That to me is like what T.O., you know, did it, stood on the star, and then they attacked.
I remember.
Somebody should have come out and decked him for that. Yeah. Somebody should have, like, you don't do that. Yeah. That is complete disrespect. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm being tame.
Stand there, they directed him to that area.
Yeah,
I mean, don't everybody? You just don't do that. Remember, Irving got in trouble for stepping on the damn Celtics sign for the same reason. Like, you know.
No, you know, there has to be some level of respect. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The logo, a star, those things are okay. I get it.
But
there's a sense of pride. This is right. That's my thing.
Yeah,
this is personal. This is something that we all love and revere this man, and for that to happen. But
bad.
You guys talk. I mean, what do you guys think?
No, it's a bad look. It's ridiculous.
I don't know what's wrong with this guy, because it's not the first time. Like, he's always doing something really stupid. Yeah. And then, like, he is. I think, who was it that commented that he said he was, what's his name, from Christmas Vacation?
The boss from Christmas Vacation?
No, the his brother-in-law, the one that was always
Eddie.
Yeah, someone you know, in our group chat, and I was like, he is that relative. And you're like, like, who is this?
Like, right. Why are you here?
Oh, you know, because like if you see like, and every time Mahomes has to come out and try to like do that, you know, and it's like, dude, you got to keep your brother away from the games or something.
Yeah,
but see, this speaks to a bigger problem.
He's making you look like
right.
It speaks to a bigger problem because this is the thing. Why did they do this in the first place? To cover up all the stuff about the emails.
Right.
So what happens? In all honesty, like, it gets rushed together. Like you said, his poor parents didn't even know this was going on.
Yeah, that's sad.
And then look what happens. You get to there and you get to the ceremony was like, it just all fell apart. Well, of course it did. Because it wasn't genuine.
Right.
It was done to cover up something else. Like you said, poor Sean Taylor died in 2007.
Yeah.
It's been 14 years that this man died. You could have easily retired his number at any point.
A long time ago.
And you wait till now, the week of the scandal, to go, oh, by the way, this Sunday, we're going to retire his number.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all this crap happens. And then you got Mr. TikTok doing dances on the logo.
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous. And it just shows you how bad it really does. It's a terrible, again, I know, Sean, you're a Washington fan, bro. You're, and I understand that's your team, ride or die. But this is a horrible look for the franchise.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You just sit there and I feel bad for you because it really is. It's terrible.
All the way around.
It really is. It just, it's horrible.
I said, like, you might as well just sell off the rest of it to his ex-wife. Whatever.
Do something. Tell it to somebody.
She already has half.
Please.
Just give the rest team to her and just walk away. Like, seriously.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
They got to find a way to pull a Donald Sterling and get him out of there. Yeah, something's got to
happen. David, I
absolutely agree. I don't. David said, I don't care why it happened. Disrespecting Sean Taylor's number on the day of the ceremony is unacceptable. Ban him for the stadium for the year.
That's what I said. Yeah. I said, listen, Patrick Mahomes needs to be like, punch his brother in the face and be like,
get him out the spotlight. Like, seriously.
Although he might hurt his hand, so maybe an elbow, right? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just an elbow.
Dusty Rhodes bionic elbow.
You gotta give it like anyway, the people's elbow. But
there you go.
Pay somebody to do it to him. Look, hey, you
and then
go ahead.
be like, you are never, you're never coming to another game. Like, just that's it.
Terrible.
That's,
I know,
like, seriously, like, just you ain't never coming to another game because you just don't know how to act at all when you out here. Like,
between Mahomes, between his brother and his wife, girlfriend, or whoever she is, man, he's got issues. That guy's got to take care of his house.
He's just trying to focus. Like, he's just trying, man. Maybe that's what he has 15.
He's not doing so well, right?
Yeah.
Got distracted this year, Patrick.
Y'all are hitting on the points.
Right.
Y'all are hitting on it.
Right. You got your wife making statements, your brother dancing on logos, man. Something ain't right, Patrick. Something ain't right.
All that man want to do is play football, right? That's all he wants.
Everybody else is jerking him every which other way, right?
He loves that game. He's like, all I want to do is what I love. Go out there and just
meanwhile.
Anyway,
meanwhile in Tampa Bay.
Oh man. Oh wow.
I love it.
This man is just taking orders from Giselle. He doesn't even have to worry about that. He's like, what would you need me to do, Giselle? Yes, dear. Yes. Oh, I need to play? Okay, I'll be playing another 5 years, Giselle. Gonna bring in that income. Yeah.
Hey, Brady, let's be honest. That brother's living the dream.
He is.
Right?
He is.
No hate on that.
You were like a little kid daydreaming in class about how one day your life would be. You didn't think about like being a wealthy man with a beautiful wife and a beautiful family and the whole big house and all, right? It's like Tom Brady's living the dream, bro. He really likes him or not. Dude is like, I'm good. Thanks. Yeah. I've got 7 titles.
Look at David. I don't know. What if Patrick's the evil genius behind it all?
Causing up disturbances and drama. Hey, you never know. You never know. Yo.
Anyway, but that was just funny. That comment made me laugh.
Right. No, yeah. We do love the people who watch and comment. This is great stuff.
Oh yeah. At the end of the day, this was just awful. This was a terrible. I mean, not the honoring of Sean Taylor. That is so long overdue. We are glad, and that's what gets lost in this whole thing. Is that
it's unfortunate?
We are honoring him. He was an amazing player.
He was.
It kind of makes you think, kind of like a Bo Jackson. Like, what happens? What if he would have finished out his career? Yeah. You know what I mean? How great would he be, looked at? But even now, he's still looked at very highly. So I am glad that they did eventually do this. But the timing, guys, is awful. And y'all know that. So fix your stuff, man.
Shame on you.
Fix your stuff. Yeah. So we have to go to the next segment of the show.
He's doing something. Here he goes.
I'm so excited today. I'm so excited.
Oh, here we go.
Because Miss Delilah is talking about my second favorite player.
There you go.
My favorite running back ever. There you go. The longest running segment on the Roundtable, Diversity with Delilah.
There you go.
And we were doing Barry Sanders. Let's go.
And so let me, Detroit, I love you. I know I'm so sorry that this is happening this season. It basically, I saw the stats. You haven't had this losing streak since 2008. So sorry about that. So I thought, all right, let me talk about one of the greatest running backs, to ever play the game. I don't know if y'all know, but him and Sweetness had a friendly rivalry. It wasn't. They actually loved each other, respected each other, and that's a whole other story. But yeah, they had a very good friendly rivalry. Anyway, so as we know, I don't know if we know, but Barry Sanders, born and raised in Wichita, Kansas. Even in high school, he was basically ready for greatness. His brother was also in the same high school as he was, because his brother actually also, I don't know if you guys know, he actually went on. He didn't have as a good of a career as Barry Sanders, but he played ball and stuff. So Sanders, when he started his football career in high school, he went in as a tailback his sophomore year, because his brother Byron was started before him in that position. So so he was always behind his brother before his brother went off. Sanders didn't become the starting running back until his fourth game of his senior year. But even then, he rushed for 1,417 yards. Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly.
Wow.
In the final 7 games of that season, which earned him All-State honors,
Sure.
Yeah, so during the 7-game span, this is the 7 games, by the way, Sanders averaged, 10.2 yards per carry. But even with that, he was overlooked by most college recruiters. Mm-hmm. And even though he was a stellar athlete, he didn't receive a lot of scholarships from a lot of universities. He received scholarships from Emporia State University, Iowa State, University of Tulsa, and then, of course, we know Oklahoma State, right? Right. So, exactly, he's wearing the jersey. So, he chose Oklahoma, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. That's, from he was there from 86 to 88. He wore number 21 in his first 2 years. He actually backed up another All-American, Thurman Thomas, right? So he
Thomas.
Yeah, he was in good company.
Yeah.
In 1987, when he actually took over, right, he led the nation in yards per kickoff return, while also rushing for over 600 yards and scoring 8 touchdowns, including 4 on special teams returns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was just, that was while Thomas was there, right? So he kind of, when Thomas left, right, his junior year, that's when Sanders became a starter. And that was in 1988. He completed what is considered one of the greatest individual seasons in college football history, rushing for 2,850 yards, 42 touchdowns in 12 games. That was when exactly. Yeah. That was him as a starter. Right? So, of course, he was awarded, the Heisman Trophy as the most outstanding college player in the nation, and was unanimously recognized as an All-American. Sanders led the nation by averaging 7.6 yards per carry and over 200 yards per game, including rushing for over 300 yards in 4 games. Despite his massive workload of 344 carries, Sanders was still used as a team's punt and kickoff returner. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't just running back. They were still like, all right, we're going to keep you here too.
We need you.
Right. Adding another 516 yards on special teams. Also, a game that people don't really look at, but still, Sanders also ran for 222 yards and scored 5 touchdowns in 3 quarters of action in the 1988 Holiday Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Against Wyoming.
A game it's not official. It's not included in the NCAA stats, but still pretty darn impressive. So these are his records that still stand. Most rushing yards in the season, right? We have over 2,000 yards. Most rushing touchdowns in the season with 38. So he most touchdowns in general, right? Because we know that, right? Because well, the thing is that we know that talented running backs can also act as a receiver, right? We know that they also get some passes. So in that regards, he has 39, which is tied with Monte Ball. Most rushing for 300 plus yards in a season. So so he basically left a whole bunch of records that still are haven't been broken in college. Then we know he was drafted by the Detroit Lions in 1989 in the first round. Yeah, he was 1989. He went the first round in the number 3 pick. And what happened in 1989? The same thing that's been happening since this guy was in high school. He just excelled, right? So in 1989, he had an immediate impact with the NFL's. He won Rookie of the Year that year. And why? Like in his debut, right? He went on to I'm sorry, still choking. Yeah, so basically,
Sean wouldn't change. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Now he's got the Lions jersey on, right?
Through his 10 seasons in Detroit, right? He averaged over 1,500 rushing yards per season, right? In 1997, he became the third player to rush for over 2,000 yards in one season, and was named the NFL Most Valuable Player. That's where he got co-MVP with Green Bay quarterback at the time, Brett Favre. Unfortunately, we know he unexpectedly retired in 1998. He was just shy 1,457 yards short of breaking Sweetness' all-time rushing record. That's why a lot of people didn't want him to retire yet, because they wanted to see if he could catch up to Sweetness or break that record. But he retired.
But that shows his true greatness, David. Talking about Emmitt Smith, his true greatness is that he didn't need the record. Because he was greater than the record.
See, that's the thing too, though. A lot of people believe, and I don't know, again, I don't know that it's true or whatever, but a lot of people think because of Barry's reverence for Walter, that he got out before he could break the record.
Yeah. Well, this is what he said. You're actually right.
Oh, he would have broken it. Yeah.
This is what he said. Yeah. So he said, he was quoted, and he has a biography. He said when asked about the Sweetness's record, I never valued it. The career rushing yardage record so much that I thought it was worth my dignity or Walter's dignity to pursue it amid so much media and marketing attention.
Yes.
Right. And that's why I said, like, I don't think people realize like how much of friends that they actually were. And even though they were
close. And again, think about it. They never played in the league at the same time.
No.
Walter retired in 87 and Barry didn't come in until 89.
So, yeah,
but
so
they still had a great friendship, right, and a great respect for each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sanders was inducted into basically every Hall of Fame you could think of.
Sure, absolutely. Right. Well, deservedly so.
Yeah. Yes. The Kansas Sports Hall of Fame in 1998, College Football Hall of Fame in 2003, Michigan Sports Hall of Fame that same year. His number 20 jersey was retired by the Lions that same year. He was also inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2004.
Yeah.
Why? Because the 10 seasons he was there, he went 10 times to the Pro Bowl. Right?
10 times for every year.
His career total was 15,269 rushing yards with 109 touchdowns. For the 10 seasons he was there, he had over 1,000 yard seasons, right? And so, it's just like, I just have to respect, right? I have to respect the fact that he was a man, and he really, he put in that time, and he put in that, he was, he really made a big impact on the sport, right? Sanders was also included into the National Football League 110th, anniversary all-star team, that they did. Yeah. Within that, by the way, because I know he was talking in that same category, he was there with Jim Brown, Walter Payton, and Emmitt Smith. Happy, David.
Yeah, David, you better be banned in the comments.
He was on the 100th All-Star. No, come on, David. I have nothing but love for Emmett, but you can't be a hater on Barry either, though, if you're a real football fan.
Come on now.
No, we can hate on Emmitt Smith.
He didn't have the Great Wall of Dallas. Okay,
right.
Let's go. He had Scott Mitchell as his quarterback. Don't tell me about Emmett. Come on now.
Well, that's my argument with Walter Payton, right? Like, look at the line he had.
The guy in Oklahoma.
Like I read all the stats. And like, who are these guys?
Right.
His quarterbacks were like Bob Avellini.
Yeah, and basically, and that is what they're saying.
Finally got Jimmy Mack, but come on.
Something that follows Sanders, that's what they say. It's like, to be one of the greatest players of all time and not have a Super Bowl win is like, ugh.
Well, he's their only playoff win.
Get there.
The last time they won a playoff game, or the only time was with Barry Sanders.
Him. No, I know, but that was it. But no.
When Barry was still playing, so there you go.
David, I have mad respect for Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, well, we can.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay. We know.
Yeah, no, I know, David. I'm just not. Look, Evan, he's sweet. Look, he even went on to win Dancing with the Stars. I was rooting for him, and he won. I watched that season. I was like, go Emmett. But anyway, no. So Barry Sanders, you, man, like, kudos to you. And I honestly, that's, when you read that quote, he really did retire just so he can allow Walter to keep his rushing yard record. Because Sweetness is a little personal. I don't know if I could talk about him on this show, but we'll see. I'll get there. I'll work my way up there with it.
It's therapy for you too, Delilah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, but for sure, Anthony. Oh my God, I don't know why I say. Because I saw his last name. Yeah, no, Anthony. I talked about his Oklahoma stats. That's one of the first things. Was him being a monster in Oklahoma. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Barry Sanders, you're one of the goats.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you already know what it is. Here it is, right there on my back. College and pro jerseys, no doubts. That's why I try to stick with my winless Lions. Oh, the curse is still on. The curse is still on.
It is still
on. Speaking of curses, let's go to see if we won any money this week.
Sure.
I tried to follow some of your picks, and I saw one, and I was like, I gotta stop.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to Nick's picks. Ladies and gentlemen, a week ago, you went 3-1, and you're 10-10.
Right, I got to 500. Right, I said, "Here we go, kids. We're rolling. We 7-9. We got the 3-1 week. We got the 10-10. I thought for sure I had 4 winners. I mean, I even went out on a limb. I took the Jaguars +3, and I won. I was so happy after that first game. I'm like, all right, kids, here we are. What happens after that? We only went 2-2, children.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. Because Lamar Jackson went off on the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know what the Chargers were doing in that game.
Yeah, they didn't show up.
Man, I didn't expect them to get beat like that. I took them with the +3 because I thought they could win the game.
Yeah.
But man, they got smoked. So that was our first loss. We won our other game, and then Monday Night Football. Here we go, right? Buffalo +3 was my last pick. So I'm thinking we're 2-1. We could still salvage the week, go 3-1. And there we are, 4th and 1 at the 3-yard, 2-yard, or whatever it was. And I'm like, they're going to kick the field goal. Maybe we get some overtime. I still got some life here. No. 4th and 1, and Josh Allen slips and gets his bell rung by the defensive lineman from the, But anyway, So we went 2-2, kids. So we're 12-12 now on this season. Like, I was hoping for better, and it didn't happen. I thought we had a for sure 4-0 week coming, and we got 2-2, my friend. So if you followed me this week, I apologize. I thought we had them 12-12. So we're still 500. I got out of the losing. We're still 500. So this week, and let me tell you something. This week, there's a lot of tempting because there's some tremendous lines. Because I'm even going to read you some of these lines because you wouldn't even believe some of the lines that came out this week, like for real. And it's early. It's Tuesday. As I told you, I give you the lines as they stand today. Some of these will change by Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on stuff, injury reports, and all that. But understand that I give you the first set of lines that I get here every Tuesday. So I'm going to go through this real quick. So here we go. My first pick, talking about Kansas City and Tennessee this week. Now, we just talked about all this, right, kids? Tennessee's offense is centered around a lot, Mr. Derrick Henry. And who has a terrible run defense? Kansas City.
Yep, absolutely.
And they are favored. Kansas City is giving up 4.5 points to Tennessee, which means that Tennessee is getting 4.5. I'm telling you, boys and girls, take Tennessee with the 4.5. Derrick Henry is going to run all over Kansas City this week. They do have a bad run defense, and you're going to see another great performance by Derrick Henry, I believe. So go ahead and take Tennessee plus 4.5, okay?
That make me crazy.
Had to give you that one.
Yeah, well, that's fun. Make me crazy. But I'm going to take Tennessee after the week they had, after that huge victory against Buffalo. Now you got a chance to knock off Kansas City a week later.
Yeah.
Take the Titans 4.5, man. They're rolling with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Next pick, I think might be considered a little bit safer. And this one might make me crazy just because lately Carolina has seemed to kind of slide a little bit. But whenever there's a cure for somebody, it's always like that one team we go, oh, well, they're playing that team, though. So this should turn it around for them.
Right.
And this is the turnaround week for Carolina. They have the hapless New York Giants. Okay? And we know the Giants' problems. All their offensive weapons are hurt. They pretty much are digging third and fourth type receivers out on the field.
They're just terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Terrible.
And they're playing the Carolina Panthers. This is a chance for Sam Darnold to get back on track, to get his butt in gear and get a win here against New York. So the Panthers are giving up 3 points. They're -3. I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, Danny Dimes nothing, Mr. Handy. More like Danny's going to be making dimes if he keeps playing like this. So that's about it. But I'm going to go Carolina -3 against New York this week, okay? So we're going to go there. Now, here's an interesting one. Cincinnati and Baltimore. Now, you know, Sean, we have some Joe Burrow fans up in here. We are. But we're also Lamar Jackson fans.
Yeah.
You got it. Now, get this. We know what Baltimore did to the Chargers last week, right?
Right.
Okay. Baltimore is giving 6.5 points to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know that this is going out on a limb too far, but I think Cincinnati's defense is a little better than the Chargers' defense. Even though they got they're more steady than what the Chargers have been this year. And it seems that when the Chargers have played bigger competition, it's been a shootout, which means their defense is giving up points. Now, mind you, the Bengals held that high-powered, Aaron Rodgers offense to 25 points after 80 missed field goals. But that just shows you that Cincinnati's defense came to play. Now, again, I don't expect a blowout here. And again, you could maybe cue the "Does That Make Me Crazy" music for this one. But I'm not saying Cincinnati will win the game, but I'd like them getting 6.5 points because I think it will be a close game and it could end up in a shootout. So I'm going to take the Bengals and the 6.5 points. At times, Mr. Wright, they have played like they are better. But no, I think the Chargers offense is better. But you can be out all you want, sir. That's why they're my picks, not Nathan's picks.
There you go.
See a little bar there that says Nick's picks? That means they're mine. Whether you agree or not, that is of no consequence to me, my friend.
Bye-bye.
You can either follow or not. I don't, again, I love you guys. Comment all you want. But yeah, you can be out because Nick's pick is right there. That means they're mine. Okay, it's okay. It's okay with you. It's okay with me, man.
It's okay.
Okay with you. All right, so I'm going to take Cincinnati to not lose by more than 6.5 points. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think this will be a better game. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have found each other. There's going to be a beautiful love affair going forward, and I think you're going to see some explosiveness because, again, Nathan, and you have admitted this yourself, and I've been on your program. Baltimore's defense has some holes.
Yes.
And it has some, this to me is why I say I don't understand how the Chargers got beat so bad. Right. Obviously, something in the defense happened or the Chargers were just not playing a great. I didn't watch the game, so I can't comment.
Yeah, no, they did. So basically I think what's going to come down to is experience. It's no hate on Herbert, right? Because he's good. But I do think Burrow will have a better chance of
I just think they're clicking at the right time, Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're starting to click, and that's what's important here.
And then I agree with you. I don't know if it's. I'm surprised about the 6 point.
Well, I'm not giving last week's game because they blew up the Chargers. They probably Baltimore's in for another big win. Which again, Baltimore could still win the game. I'm just saying I'm going to take the Bengals in the 6.5 points. Yeah,
right.
So that's that. That's game number 3. And so the last game, I'm going to give, this is what I call giving the benefit of the doubt to. We know the John Gruden stuff is now over, right? It's done. There's a new era in Las Vegas, and they came out and played like it. They got a nice win over a division rival. You beat up Denver, great. I'm gonna give the Raiders a chance here. Now, normally, again, as I told you, sometimes I don't like to go back to teams who disappoint me, but I'm going to give the Raiders another chance. They're getting. They're the favorite here against Philadelphia this week, -3. And I'm going to go ahead and take Las Vegas to beat Philadelphia by more than 3 points. So I'm going to take the -3. They're at home. They're in the brand new stadium in Vegas. They got a nice home game with the crowd. I mean, even though, it's Las Vegas, so it's not always a home game sometimes because other people like to go visit there. So other teams get a lot of crowd too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Las Vegas as my 4th pick. They're giving up 3 points to the Eagles, who traded Zach Ertz to the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Eagles.
As if the Cardinals needed any more.
The rich get richer.
The rich
so those
get
are the
richer.
4 picks, but I want to, as I said, I want to go over some stuff with you because there's some crazy lines this week, guys.
Yeah, go for it.
The thing is, these are always tempting because you go, "There's no way that's going to happen."
That's why we came out early, right? Go ahead.
Right. The Detroit Lions are taking on the Rams, right? So you got Stafford going back to play his old team, Jared Goff playing his old team. The Rams are giving up. That means Detroit is plus 15.5 points.
Wow.
So that means they truly believe to start off this week, like that the Rams are going to beat Detroit by 15.5 points.
Dang.
A little tempting to take, but I don't like taking those games because what ends up happening is what you don't think.
It flips. It flips the screen.
Your eyes get this big going, oh, Detroit's sick, and then all of a sudden the Rams will win by like 30.
Right.
Yeah, right.
This one, look at this one. Houston Texans, Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are giving up 17 points to the Texans and rookie Davis Mills. Now, again, tempting to take, right? You're like, man, Davis Mills could get lucky and get a touchdown or two, and the game could be like 34-20, and then they only lose by 14. Another game I'm going to stay away from just because it's way too late.
Don't do it.
The line is like, no, 17 points, though. Very tempting in a game like that. Now, here's the one we really, and again, I stuck to my rule, Sean, Delilah. I told you, I don't bet on the Bears because it's too emotional. But listen to this line. The line started, Tampa Bay is giving up 13.5 points.
Really?
And I'm telling you, I'm just going to tell you this right now, and you can book this, market, whatever the hell you want to do. The Bears have a top 5 defense. We are leading the league in sacks, and we're coming for Tom Brady's ass. So I actually think the Bears, even if they lose, will not lose by 13.5 points. I think Justin Fields, as he continues, will have another good game. So all I'm saying is that I think that line's a little high. So if you're a gambling person and you want to, take the Bears in 13.5 points, I think it's not a horrible pick, considering that our defense and that the offense has shown spurts and has shown that we can have some big plays. And if Tom Brady remembers when 4th down is, who knows?
He remembers now.
You remember now.
I bet he does. But I'm just saying that's a huge line. Buccaneers giving up 13.5 points.
But I can see why you won't take any of those.
Yeah, but that's why I'm staying away personally. I'm just like,
any of those.
I'm saying, if you're a betting person and you know, the Bears have a chance to really, do some damage this week. We'll see. But anyways, so those are my picks for the week. We're 12-12. So again, you don't have to listen to me if you don't want to. Yeah. But I do this every week for the love and for you guys.
Oh, David's got questions.
Hey guys,
you got time for questions?
If you want to go 2-2, you're good to go.
Right. You want to go 500? You call me. That's right.
Definitely want to know. Address this. He said, quick question. We know Arizona is a legit regular season team. Do you guys think Arizona is a legit playoff team? We all know the game changes come postseason.
Well, and this is going to be one of those kind of stock answers, but really, if everybody can stay
healthy, right?
I don't understand why people get joke about this. You have to stay healthy in pro sports.
Absolutely.
Okay, your best players have to find a way to stay healthy throughout the entire season and avoid injury and long time off.
Correct.
Because that helps. When you'll want to be at full strength when you go to the playoffs. Right. Yes, it is a different feel.
It is 100%.
The records go out the window. Yada yada yada. So the biggest thing is health, and right now Arizona, they're playing their butts off. They're 6-0.
Beyond that, do you think they could? Their game will translate well?
I don't see why it wouldn't. You can run the ball, you can pass the ball, and you have a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not think? I mean, yes, they're going to lose some games. They're not going to go 17-0.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But I'm saying if they don't, what if they don't have home field?
Well,
if they have to go to Lambeau or Dallas,
they've been winning on the road, but again, playoffs are different, right? I mean, they have. I mean, obviously they've won on the road, right? Because they're 6-0.
They've had a couple of road games, right? So they've won on the road so far, right?
Yeah. So I think that again, we always talk about balance on both sides, right? Because of and they really are.
Well, it is the stock answer, Handy.
It is, yeah.
You got a better one?
Yeah, I know.
I don't think so.
I don't honestly. I think I'm excited to see if they can go all the way. To be fair,
again, Sean, it's week 6 or week 7, brother. You know what I mean? It's like I'm still in that mode.
We're going into week 7,
right? I'm still waiting. There's teams here that are still like, what are these teams going to do?
Right.
Like they're 3-3, they're 2-4, they're 4-2.
Yeah, but how long? When is your time that you're going to actually be like, okay? Now I can gauge it.
I think by week. Honestly, I think by week 10. I was saying 10 too.
Yeah.
Because look, at this point with me, I think. I mean, there's certain things I know. I know what I have in Washington, and I don't need to take 10 weeks to see that. I've seen it in the first 6.
No, but there's other divisions. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is they've played 2 divisional games, and what we've already said is the toughest division. They've gotten 2 divisional wins. They've played a high-powered Tennessee team and beat them. You know what I mean? They're getting this. So what I'm saying is, if they stay healthy and get it going, can they keep this up? Or because this is new to them, they're not one of these teams that we're used to. They're not.
No, I got you. Yeah, I know what you're
saying. They're not a Tom Brady team. They're not Aaron Rodgers. They're not. Yeah. You know what I mean? So do we think that they'll be like? Will they get shocked? You know how like a couple years ago.
Yeah,
the Ravens went 14-2.
Yeah, right.
They led everything and then lost to a 9-7 Titans team in the playoffs.
Right. Well, again,
you know what I mean?
Those are things that do happen, unfortunately,
right.
And that's why records get thrown out the window when you get, like you said.
I think too. What's good? What Arizona did smart, and I think that's what's going to come into play is that they did sign veteran players, right? So it's not. So one thing that I got to give, man, that ownership, leadership, God bless them. Because basically what they said, okay, we're not just going to have rookies. We're not just going to have, Kyler, who's just coming in his second season, right? He did throw 3 touchdowns again, though. So it's not like, he's doing his piece. Is he a general yet? I don't know, right? He's a baby. Yeah. But he's getting it done. The thing is, they also made sure to sign a lot of those free agents because they had so much money. They were one of the few teams that actually had money to throw around.
Outside of the Patriots.
Yeah. And they signed also veteran players who have been in the playoffs. Right, and so I'm not saying that that'll make the difference, but they do have leaders in there, right? They do have
somebody with experience helps.
Yeah, so they have
experience is going to be the key.
Yeah, so I think they have experience on both sides of the field. We know that JJ turns into a different type of player when he's in the playoffs too, right? Like I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. I think they did, and Ertz, right? They just signed Ertz, who's gone to the Pro Bowl a bunch of times. So I just think that
he's won a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Nick Foles, baby, Nick Foles.
I know. Right. I'm not saying it's like they were very strategic in building this team into making sure that they had leadership on both sides, as well as fresh blood. So I think it'll be exciting.
Missed the playoffs last year, so yeah.
But last year they didn't have this team.
and I mean, and again, let's be honest. They still have to get through a star-studded NFC. You've seen what Dallas is doing. Tampa Bay is still at the top.
Right.
You know what I mean? Green Bay, until somebody knocks Green Bay, just go double check off. He's still there. These teams are still, so they're going to have a lot to go in.
Well, he'll lose an NFC championship game, so don't worry.
Yeah, it'll be an exciting NFC playoffs for sure.
Agreed.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. I think the NFC playoffs are going to be really good this year.
They are, because we're going to be like, what is going on? And but I agree with Nick. I think by week 10 we can start already.
Yeah, I think week 10 you start to figure out when people are like, if they're 5-5 or if they're 6-4, 7-2, like you start to really see who's distinguishing themselves and who's
because
just
the
kind of in
season
the
is
middle
longer,
of the pack.
like you said, Nick. The season is longer, so we're like, okay, well, 8 and 9 teams won't ever make it again, right?
Right. 8 and 9 teams are not cutting it. So if you're 4-4, 4-5, 4-6 at the 10-game mark, you're pretty much probably not going to make it.
I respect what you guys are saying. I respect what you guys are saying.
Here's where you
I respectfully. Well, no, I mean, I do, because I think certain things, with certain teams like Arizona, with the starts of the teams, I completely agree with you. It is hard because you see how good they're doing, and it's like, but like with 6 weeks, like with the Denver Broncos or with a Carolina Panthers, it's like, okay, this is what I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is kind of what I expect.
Teams like that, you should see, where they are by then.
The only team I don't know about right now is Arizona. And that's just because I'm holding out because, the only reason because I'm holding out because I'm just like, all right, they're so good. The balloon is getting so big.
Right. I get it.
If they get popped by injuries or just a losing streak.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're still in the hottest division, but, we'll
Russell Wilson is out for 3 weeks for Seattle.
Right.
San Francisco hasn't lived up to the hypey.
No, it's really it's gonna be him. It's gonna be him and Matthew. That's it.
Right, and the Rams. We'll see what they do with Detroit.
But even with Carolina or even with Arizona playing San Francisco, who had Trey Lance, and they only put up 17 points.
That's
so
true,
those divisional games, Well,
like you said, they hit different, right?
Yeah,
they always hit different.
You always tell us that. I agree, Sean.
I agree. I didn't need you to agree, but thank you.
Yes, you did. No, Nate agrees with you.
You agree about it. What's a 2-4 team? Okay, great. But when we're looking at all these,
one nation under Snell to agree with you. Okay,
do we can't give away the division to the other divisions that are like 3 teams are 4-2, right? And that's really, that doesn't make any sense. We can't just say, oh, okay, well, all these 4-2 teams also are going to drop off. I think that's why for those teams that are closer, right, that they're 4-2, 4-3, I think it is going to take to week 10 to see, are those 4-2 teams that are currently 4-2?
Does 4-3 turn into 7-3?
Right, exactly.
4-6. Does it turn into, I'm saying, I mean, again, I understand your perspective, Sean, I respect that, but I'm just thinking that by week 10, we should have a better barometer of where everybody is.
At least on the NFC anyways. NFC a little more.
I think you'll be able to predict a little bit more what's going to happen in that last 7 weeks. Just my opinion, of course.
Yeah. So
as I sit here by the Let's Talk Football logo and smile.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's a big dash. So it's like, can they make it, right? Yeah.
All right. So, all right, moving on. Oh, I don't even know if I should put this, but since Dave, you've been doing so much for us, I'll do that one last time.
I'll tell you what, David. Where do you live? Where does David live?
He lives in aforementioned Arizona.
Oh, that's funny. That's right. He told us that. That's why he.
I'll tell you what, David. I'll tell you what. Right now, mark this down. October 19th, This is like 8. I got 8:54 Central Time. If your Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl, my big behind will come to Arizona and buy you a steak dinner.
Nice.
That's how much I believe the Cowboys will not win the Super Bowl. I will take my big butt to Arizona in the sweltering heat.
I'll tell you what.
Of 100 degrees in the desert with the cactus. And I will come there and buy you a steak dinner if the Dallas Cowboys win the world or the Super Bowl. Okay, sold? Good.
Yes.
Good. So you heard it here. I'm October 19th, 8:54 p.m. Central Time. I will take my big butt to Arizona in the heat if Dallas wins the Super Bowl, and I will buy you a steak dinner.
Nathan wants to throw up.
This better be a commercial soon. I got you. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Wait, why does Nathan want
to throw up? That's how much my personal belief is that the Cowboys will not in the end.
Oh, because of the Dallas thing.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah,
so
buddy.
there you go.
All right, and we're going to go on to the very last segment. One last word. Yeah, buddy. One last word where we go with one final thing before we leave you. Nicholas, I'm coming to you first. What you got?
Okay, and again, I don't. This has been a great show always. I love the energy here. You guys are awesome. But again, sometimes life gives you a little hit and you got to move on. One of my buddies lost his best friend the other day. And this was a gentleman I knew as well. Was a great guy, family man. Unfortunately, he leaves behind a wife, 2 children. He was only 42 years old. So I just, again, sometimes life hits you, man, and you just sit there and go, wow, why did this happen? This is horrible. This sucks. And again, it's just a reminder to just, live every day, man. Like, do what you can, love every day, smile, cry, laugh, whatever you do, just live life. We all got we all have a short time here. We don't know when it ends. And, I can't say that enough, I guess. Like I enjoy what I do here with you guys, and you guys have become an extended family to me.
Aww.
And, and it's just seriously, even the people who comment, I don't know you guys that well, but I look forward to hearing from you, or we talk smack to each other on the fantasy page or whatever it is. Like, life is life, man. People are people, and we all live our lives and do the best we can. And again, we don't know when our number gets called, but I just want to say to everyone, thank you. I love you guys. I hope everybody is well. Again, it's a tragic thing that happened. I really feel bad for this gentleman's family. So if anybody wants to say a prayer for the Manzella family. They lost Nick, 42 years old. Like I said, leaves behind a wife and 2 kids. Just a terrible thing to have happen. So that's what I got to say.
You said what's the name of the family?
Manzella.
Manzella
was the last name. Yeah, Manzella was the last name. So say a prayer for the Manzella family if you're so inclined. Thank you, David. Love you too, sir.
Delilah, what you got?
Yeah, that was heavy.
Sorry,
no,
I know.
Okay.
I know you guys weren't expecting that, but
it was needed though. Well, following that up, I just want to say that, I think that I don't know what's happening, but my 2 words are empathy and kindness.
Yeah.
So it's not one word; it's 2.
Sure.
I know that as humans we're better than what we are, but there's certain things that sometimes I see and I'm like, what is going on? And I'm just like, we really need to be more empathetic. And you can't teach empathy, even though they try to make teachers teach empathy. That's Cat all about it. You can't teach empathy, but you can show how to be empathetic, right? So that people can pick up on how to be empathetic. And kindness, just be kind, not nice, because nice gets thrown around a lot, and that's not the same thing.
Right. I know
right.
What you mean.
Right. It is lacking. And so we really need more kindness and empathy, because I just feel like there could be so much more positivity out there, and so much of the stuff that we see, that we talk about the show, that are really crazy, could have been handled if we all had an empathetic type of, personality and being towards other people. And that's sorely lacking, and we really need to lift that up. Like, let's spread some empathy, let's spread some kindness. Think about your fellow person, right? Like, and just let's just spread some more kindness. You don't know, like, make someone's day. It's just there's some things that I've seen, and it's like, what is going on? And it's just painful, man. And it's like, come on, like, I'm not gonna mention the story, but something came up that happened in Philadelphia. I don't know if you guys read. Happened to a young lady on a train, and no one put a stop to the situation. They filmed it.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
So that's what I mean. I'm like, we're supposed to be the higher species, correct?
Right.
Like, even though we are animals, we're labeled, right? We're supposed to be the higher species.
Or the more evolved species, as it were, right?
We grew, we're supposed to be the one that's conscientious, right? With a conscience.
Yeah.
And so I just really want to spread some empathy and kindness out there, y'all. Like, I'm not saying y'all have to be Batman and jump into the middle of a fight or something, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I get it, because you don't know what's going on with people sometimes, right? You don't want to lose your life. But man, when you see, and I know people throw a quote around, but it's very true. When you stand by in the face of injustice, you're just as culpable as the people involved. Okay, so when you stand by, someone is doing wrong, and you're just standing by and letting it happen, you're just as guilty. So come on, please, like, just show some empathy and kindness to your fellow man and person and human beings.
So true.
Like, really, we're the evolved species. Please, let's just spread that.
Let's act like it, folks. Right, let's act like it.
Sheesh. Yes, please. Yes, love and positivity, please. Let's just get that out there. I know it sounds kooky, right? You say it, and it's like, but really, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Like, Sean used the example yesterday, right? When he prayed for someone because he saw. That's empathy, by the way. That is an empathetic action.
Yeah, absolutely.
He saw a fellow, didn't know who it was, and decide to pray for that person. Do you see? That's what I'm trying to say. Empathy is not, yeah. So it's like, let's just please, like, let's just figure something out. We've got to do better. Yeah, that's my last. Sorry. It's like,
quite all right. I agree.
I'm shouting out teachers. Shouting out you, Delilah, Kat. All the teachers that are going through. I mean, it's October, but it's halfway through October, but it's still October. Kat's going to be going away this weekend to visit one of her friends that's experiencing stage 4 cancer, and kind of it just got to a point where it's like, yeah, she's stressed, and not this weekend. That's a couple weekends from now, or a couple weeks or something. Nobody's listening to this show, so don't worry. So that's not happening. You know what? Just pray for teachers.
Pray for the teachers, right?
I'm already in enough trouble. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, almost got off the couch tonight, but looks like I'll be back on the couch. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. Well, we're going to have to end the show on that one. I am your host, Sean Spencer. There is Nicholas. I want to smoke Rosario.
Right, and I will be sleeping in my bed tonight. Thank you.
There is Delilah Crespo. Two people that know what beds feel like. I've lost the feeling of the bed. Yes.
Sean. We love you, man.
Yep.
Right,
she heard it. She heard it too, Dave. She heard it too.
I heard Dave.
All right, guys. I am gonna I'm gonna end this out on my nephew, and he's learning to play the guitar. So little something he's got going. See you later, guys.
All right, have a good night, guys.
I don't know the second part to it. I don't know. Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Struther.
I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New music, so funny. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Struther.
I'm Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk.